How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 345. How's it going, everyone out there? I haven't seen you in quite a while. You're all looking good. I see you guys got some haircuts. You all look fantastic. I haven't been posting reviews for a while, and I think most of that is probably due to laziness. But I wanted to quickly go through a list of movies that I have seen, but failed to post reviews on, and they're kind of far in the past, so I don't really want to do a full-blown review on it, but I thought I'd give you a little mini-review with just quick thoughts on them. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, it is fun, surprisingly fun. I think Jay Baruchel gives a very solid performance, and if you like Jay Baruchel and you like his quirky, nerdy character that he did in She's Out of My League, and in Undeclared, and in Knocked Up, you're probably going to have a good time with this. I'm not really much of a fantasy guy myself, but this film has more than just a fantasy story. There's also this very nice, sweet, albeit a little cheesy love story that takes place. But hey, it's a Disney movie. It's more oriented towards kids, but I think that it's still a pretty entertaining little movie. I give The Sorcerer's Apprentice a 3 out of 5. The kids are alright. It is a film that's been getting tons of critical acclaim, tons of buzz, tons of already people saying that it's one of the 10 best of the year. I thought that it was pretty good myself. I don't think that it's quite as good as all the hype surrounding it. I think that the performances across the board are exceptional, especially Annette Bening, who I think plays her character so genuinely throughout the film. I think The Kids Are Alright is very funny and very insightful as far as a family dynamic goes and the relationships between these people goes for the film. I also really liked how it was not preachy at all about the gay lifestyle, and I honestly think that if you substituted Annette Bening's character and Julianne Moore's character for, instead of lesbian mothers, it was just a husband and a wife, it would be basically the same movie with the same exact themes and same issues that go on, because I think at the end of the day, it shows a family is still a family no matter what, and I really dug that about The Kids Are Alright. I would give it 4 out of 5. Salt, starring Angelina Jolie. She's a badass CIA operative who may or may not be a Russian spy. I thought that Salt was quite an entertaining little movie. It has a lot of unbelievable action scenes, but I didn't really care too much about that. I think one of the complaints that I had for A-Team was that the action was all over the place, and at the end of the day it tried to be way more intelligent than it was and tried to really explain stuff to you, and Salt never really does that. It is a dumb, fun action movie. There are a lot of unbelievable sequences of her jumping from truck to truck, surviving explosions that take place like just a few feet away from her, and stuff like that. There's a lot of twists and turns that happen throughout the movie, and one of the things I really liked about it is, although you may be able to see some of them coming, I think that the film does not dwell on them too much. So at the end of the day, it's kind of okay, because you're like, oh, that was the twist, I get it, you don't need to explain that to me, and it just keeps going. I would give Salt a 3.5 out of 5. Very fun action movie. Grown Ups, starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Rob Schneider, who else do we have? David Spade and Chris Rock. 5 comics, 1 movie. That's not funny at all. It's honestly sad to watch these 5 comedians go through this movie and just be so lazy about everything. It's not funny. It all feels very hammy and cheesy. There's really lame, childish jokes about farting and passing gas, and Rob Schneider's kids are really attractive, and then one of them is ugly, and it's like, oh, that gene pool came from Rob Schneider, I guess, the last one. It's not funny at all. I think that the message of the film is sweet. Go outside and play instead of staying inside and recording movie reviews, I guess. I don't know. I just think that the film is not funny in the slightest. It's not as bad as Couples Retreat, but it's still pretty bad. I give Grown Ups a 1 out of 5. On to the main event. Life During Wartime is the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today. I'll let you know right up front, there will be some minor spoilers for Happiness in case you have not seen Happiness and want to know absolutely nothing. Life During Wartime is written and directed by Todd Solondz. He also made the film Happiness in 1998, and this is kind of a semi-sequel to that movie. It follows the same exact characters 10 years from that film, and he has different actors playing these parts. Still the same characters, just different actors, which I'm going to get into my thoughts on that in just a second. And Life During Wartime follows these collections of people who are all kind of sad and lonely and all just kind of want some sort of love in their life, but somehow don't really know how to get it. There's so many different characters across the board, I don't want to get into all their storylines. If you've heard of this film, you probably already know how you feel about it one way or another, whether or not you want to see it. I do think that Todd Solondz is a filmmaker that makes movies that have a lot of taboo subject matter in this. I mean, Life During Wartime, one of the main cruxes of the story is that this one character is a child molester, and he was convicted and sent to prison, and he's released. And a lot of the dialogue comes from his son, who he hasn't really seen, trying to understand what a child molester is. His older son's still kind of dealing with it while he's in college, and him kind of trying to come back to see the family, and Allison Janney, who now plays Trish, trying to deal with the fact that her husband was this child molester. It's a lot of that sort of stuff. But I think that Todd Solondz does everything so effectively, and he really knows how to handle this type of material. I think Life During Wartime is very darkly funny, and I think at times it is also very serious and very profound at what it's trying to say. And I think one of the things I like so much about Life During Wartime is the comments on the human condition and kind of how we all go through lives, and while we may not be as bad as these people are, you know, be it child molesters or people calling random numbers on the phone for phone sex, we all still want the one thing that everybody wants, which is to be loved and to not be alone in this world. And Life During Wartime deals with a lot of the concept of forgive and forget. And when is it okay to forgive and not forget? Can you ever forget and not forgive? That sort of thing. Should that even happen? I think it brings up a lot of interesting questions that don't necessarily have any hard answers, but they allow the viewer to really think about it once you leave the theater. I think that the final scene to this film is incredibly simple in the way that it's executed, but it's also incredibly profound, especially the final lines of dialogue uttered from the character of Timmy, the little redhead kid that you see on all the posters. I think that it's quite a profound little statement that's said at the end of this film. It's emotional, it's funny, it's dark, it's sad. If you liked happiness, I'm sure you will like Life During Wartime. The one other thing I want to say about Life During Wartime is a lot of people have been commenting how this moral universe that Todd Solondz creates within basically all of his films isn't fun to watch. It's not a very fun movie to watch, I wouldn't say, because you don't want to deal with watching somebody who's a child molester and things like that. But what I would say is that I don't think that the universe Todd Solondz creates in this moral universe, is really that different from our own, because I think that we all kind of act like this towards each other, towards one another, the way that these characters interact in this film. On maybe a little lesser level, but I still think that that's why Todd Solondz's films are so effective, and why Life During Wartime is so effective, because although these are people that you probably don't encounter in everyday lives, I think you can still see a little bit of yourself or other people that you know in this film, and I think that's why it's kind of hard to watch and accept that about our society. I'm getting way too philosophical right now for my own good, but I give Life During Wartime a 4.5 out of 5. No, I do not think it's better than Happiness, but I still think that it's a pretty exceptional film nonetheless. Thank you guys very much. Is this a really long one? I think that it's kind of a long video. Whatevs, deal with it. I'll see you guys next time.